3.
Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Here we go. Good morning, wonderful, beautiful people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. Streaming live on YouTube. And of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Coming up today, the Cowboys move to 2-0 in dominating fashion, grounding those New York Jets. And we got to talk about it. I got Monday morning instant reactions from top to bottom. Plus, in the roundup, we do have some injury news to get to, and a Cowboys first. Making some history. A little bit of history being made to start this season off, Cowboys Nation, and you should be excited about it. Although I do know on the Twitter sphere, around the internets, Cowboy fans can't always be happy. That'll never be a thing. We're always finding something because we've been, programmed to find something. But the start of this season, you could not ask for a better start if you are a Dallas Cowboy fan, Cowboys Nation.
Bomb Squad!
Unbelievable start, 70-10, 60-point differential. It has been dominating. I mean, look, at some point you're going to run into some adversity. So when you're looking at these games, you got to come away with how did the team respond in what little adversity they may have had in that game in regards to week 1 and week 2. And then you evaluate. But eventually you're going to run up into better teams, and you want to have something to come back on to be able to say, hey, we can do this, we can do that. But there's not much to really come out of these games with whining and crying about when your boys are up 70-10 after 2. It's not. We had a lot of people in week 1. Some Cowboy fans actually said the Cowboys would go 0-2 against both of these teams. I get Aaron Rodgers is out, so that probably ruled that out. But we had the Cowboys in week 1, people doubting them, went in there, handled business. Week 2, some of the national media thought for some odd reason this Jets defense was just going to win the game by itself. Wasn't going to happen. Nah. This ain't that. It's a totally different team, man, and you see it in how they operate. You see it, and we're going to talk about that a little bit before we get into our Cowboy Player of the Week presented by Cowboys Custom. But the Cowboys take the victory, our BT Furnishing score of the day, 30-10, Cowboys Nation. Let's get into this roundup. Let's talk about it. If you want to call in, you can. 351-999-3787 is the call-in line. But, when you get a dub like that, you know we're pulling up to the cookout. So we've got some mainstays, people that have been at the grown folk table many of times, people that were at the grown folk table last week. They'll be at the grown folk table again. But we got a couple newcomers. And one of the guys that I have at the table, I thought about just taking him for the walk, right? I thought about just taking him, but I couldn't. We need him at the table. We need some advice on some things because he played so damn well in this game. But let's get to the roundup and have a little fun afterwards.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Let me talk to you!
Let me talk to you, Cowboys Nation. So, coming out of this game, last week, there weren't many injuries. This week, a couple little dings in here and there, right? Little knickknacks. One of them being Zach Martin, who got his ankle rolled up on at the end of the game, and you could kind of see him kind of frustrated, getting up like, come on, dog. Like, But he kept staying out there. Then eventually he came out the game. But per Jane, she said a source tells her he's fine. He came out as a precautionary measure after rolling his ankle. It sounds like there's nothing to be too concerned about with Zach Martin. This wasn't some non-contact injury. He got his ankle rolled up on. You're going to see that happen from time to time in the NFL because that's just how it works. That's just how it is. So I'm not too concerned about that just yet. We can keep our eyes on it moving forward throughout the week, but it seems like Zach will be fine. If I was the Cowboys, this isn't a guy I'm worried about. This isn't a guy that needs to practice on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Wednesday, Thursday. Hell, he might not need to practice all week. Let's just go ahead, rest up that ankle, come back out there next week, and let's keep it moving. The other guy coming out of the injury report was Chuma Edoga. Chuma left the game in the second half with an elbow injury, did not return. He had it wrapped up, and he looked like he was in good spirits. TJ Bass came in the second quarter. Can't wait to watch the tape, man. Saw some good things just from the broadcast view, but it seemed like he held his own very well. But we'll dive all into that throughout the week. But Chuma Edoga was on Twitter tweeting. He seemed like he was doing well, seemed like he was doing fine. And then Jerry also added, he is not, tripping, essentially, not worried about Chuma Edoga and Zach Martin's injury. They're deemed not serious. So some things to keep our eyes on in regards to the offensive line. We're already obviously dealing with injuries. We don't want to have to continue to deal with them every single game, but that's the nature of the NFL, man. You're going to have guys get dinged up. You just hope it's not season enders or situations where they're on IR for, half the season or whatever. So that's your injury report for right now. We'll keep our ears plugged to the ground and see what happens over the next couple days. So coming away from that game yesterday, the Cowboys made franchise history. For the first time in franchise history, they have 0 turnovers to start the season in the first 2 games. Felt like this needed to be pointed out because all offseason, oh my God, all offseason, all we kept hearing day in, day out, interceptions, turnovers, this, that. 0, none, nada, while taking away the ball 7 freaking times. 8 times if you count the block kick, correct? 8. But nonetheless, the Cowboys are absolutely owning the turnover margin, and I think that'll continue because of the nature of this offense, because who is running this offense, not only on the field, but off of it as well. These guys are in sync. And what I mean by these guys, obviously we're talking about Dak Prescott and we're talking about Mike McCarthy. Understand, this offense has put together, in my opinion, another efficient day at the office, doing so against a top-ranked defense, doing so without Tyler Smith, without Brandon Cooks, with your third left guard, okay, for an entire half. One of the things we wanted this team to do for years, not even just this year, last year, for years, get out to a faster start. I thought it was a message sent to the team, to the locker room, to the Jets, that the Cowboys won the toss and they decided to elect to receive the ball and drove down 12 plays, 75 yards for a tutty. On a defense that hadn't given up an opening drive touchdown in 15 straight games. On a defense who just made Josh Allen look crazy. Josh Allen got to chill. He turned the ball over 4 times. The way this offense just moves and operates, it just looks and it feels grown. Right? It just looks and it feels grown. You see it in how Dak is playing point guard. You see it in how the run game is purposeful. You see it in how McCarthy is adapting, in my opinion, within the game. He's not zeroed in on chasing big plays. We're not zeroed in on chasing big numbers. He's trying to zero in on winning. It's cliche to say complimentary football, but it's real. It's so real. Complementary football, especially when you have, in my opinion, an elite defense and elite special teams, you don't need a top 1 or 2 offense, although there are a lot of things they do that operate at that level throughout the game sometimes. But they've been efficient. They've taken care of the ball. And this team in general has played complementary football between its offense, its defense, its special teams, and its coaching. It's grown. We're not auditioning. We're winning. You know what I'm saying? We're chasing a win. We're not chasing big numbers. We're not chasing fancy, awards. The only fancy award we want is at the end of the season, and you got to take small steps to get there. And I think this offense did that. And we'll circle back around to this offense in a second. But the Cowboy player of the week for me was nobody on offense, Cowboys Nation. No sir, Rebobski. Cowboy player of the week presented by Cowboys Customs was none other than Micah Parsons. Again, I say it to you guys all the time. I'm running out of words. I'm running out of words for this guy, man. Micah Parsons, another multi-sack game. That's his 10th of his career. He joins guys like Reggie White, Richard Dent, and among others to have started their career in the first 3 seasons with 10 or more sacks. The other 2 guys who are ahead of him at this moment are Sean Merriman and Alden Smith. But he has 15 more games to break or surpass Alden Smith or Reggie. It all depends. Now he needs to get about 7 more of those this year, which would be unbelievable. But nonetheless, I think he can surpass Alden and Sean Merriman. Those guys are at 12 right now. Micah has 10 with 15 more games to go in regards to multi-sack games. And he's only 2 years and 2 games into his career. Unbelievable. He set the tone early, in my opinion. He set the tone early on the very first 3rd down play of the game, which I just happened to watch it from the film view. I got the film in at the very last second before I came on the show. I said, I'm going to look at this play. Oh, it's a beauty. It's a beauty how it's set up, and it just goes to show you how having 2 dominant forces at defensive end will help out everybody, including the best defensive player in the league. But we'll break that down another time. But he set the tone early with the first 3rd down sack of the game, and then he kept the pressure. He kept the pressure on Zach Wilson, much like he did with Daniel Jones. In week 1, he beats the center, abuses the center, forces Daniel Jones to roll out. He throws an interception to Gilly. If you just take that play, put it over top of Zach Wilson's other interception, it looks almost identical. Micah Parsons abused the center. He has him reaching and trying to pull and catch Micah Parsons, forces Zach Wilson to roll out, throws the interception to Jaron Kearse for what was almost a pick 6. It's plays like that from Micah Parsons that make him special. Creating for others, right? The impact that he has, that's not just the sacks. And if you guys go back to the summer, Micah Parsons talked about this. Micah said, not really chasing sacks. It's about the impact. Here's what Micah Parsons had to say about that.
I'm kind of off the sack wave. I'm on to the impact wave. Like, you see Aaron Donald, he can have 12 sacks, but the impact he makes is like so dominant. Like, you can tell. I'm really just want to be a dominant.
The impact he makes. I'm on the impact wave. When Micah Parsons is on the field, just being there alone, he's more impactful than any defensive player in the National Football League, and he might be more impactful than any player. You can call it homerism, you can call it what you want. Right now, Micah Parsons is the most impactful player in the National Football League, period. When he was out there in week 1, he was responsible for 5 sacks that he didn't make, but he was a part of that because of the attention that he's drawing. You saw what happened yesterday against the Jets when he's out there chasing around Zach Wilson, forcing him to turn the ball over. When he's out there chasing around Dalvin Cook, stripping the rock. He had 2 sacks, 4 quarterback hits, 3 tackles for loss, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, almost a tutty. Micah's him, man. He's him. He also said this. just playing chess, being able to move around, I think that's the special ability that I have that I want to incorporate. He talked about that in that same interview back in June. And if you guys remember, we talked about how Micah, was a bit frustrated in his usage last year. He felt like he could be making a difference moving around as opposed to playing primarily on one part of the defense. He's been moved around. He joked about playing 8 different positions. Micah has been moved around that offensive line. He's been used on stunts. He's been rushing from the A and B gaps. He is making that elite Canton type impact. And you see it on the field. He ended that interview saying, it's going to be a year to remember for sure. It 100% has been a start to remember. Now we're inching closer, as Micah likes to say, to a specific goal, but it's been an unbelievable start, and he helped the Dallas Cowboys lift them to a victory. And that is my Cowboy of the Week, presented by Cowboys Custom. Cowboy Customs can give your vehicle the lift it needs. They not only do custom suspensions, but also customize your wheels and tires. I love a family-owned and operated business, and Cowboys Customs is family-owned and operated, and it's the place to go for all your vehicle needs. So stop by any of these 4 locations: Cowboys Customs, Cowboys Auto, located in Arlington and North Richland Hills, Cowboys Wheels and Tires, located in Irving. Stop by and get a free leveling kit with the purchase of wheels and tires, or give them a call at 817-633-4611, 817-633-4611. That is my Cowboys Custom Player of the Week, Micah Parsons. Can't be anybody else, right? It's got to be Micah. It's got to be Micah. All right, so I got my Player of the Week, who we all know he's going to be at the table, right? We understand that Micah is going to be at the grown folk table. He might be at the grown folk table every single week, if we're being completely honest. But pull on up. Bring your ice, bring your chips, bring your side, bring whatever you need to. When it's a Victory Monday, that means it's cookout time, Cowboys. Take a leg out.
It's electric.
It's only right. It's only right that I start this grown folk table, this cookout, with C.D. Lamb. 13 targets for our guy yesterday. 11 receptions, 143 yards. Talk about another guy that is Timothy Duncan. And it wasn't just the way they used Lamb, because that was beautiful too. We'll break all that down on Tape Tuesday. But he was making big-time plays. Third down coming up in the clutch, getting the Cowboys out of deep territory, going up and snagging the rock. Lamb just continues to rise in the ranks. In my opinion, he already was an elite receiver. If anybody's having any questions about it, they should be answered over the last few games, honestly, the last maybe 12 games. And I said this yesterday with Jesse. I think what you're about to see with C.D. Lamb and Dak Prescott is a very similar relationship, a very similar production output that you saw with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. Yeah. I think this team is trending towards that between these two guys. And because Mike has this offense that allows you to get him the ball in better situations, in better positions. So C.D. Lamb, head of the table on this game here. Mike is there. We just talked about Micah. Micah is Micah, man. I think he might be at this table every game. We'll just have to give him a permanent seat. Pull on up. We just got done talking about what Micah did in that game with his 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, the forced fumble, the fumble recovery, and the impact he made when he wasn't even making the play. Same could be argued for Osa. Welcome back to the grown folk table. Another sack, another tackle for loss, more impact plays where it may not show on the scoreboard, on the box score, box sheet, whatever. But Osa's taking that next step. And if Osa's taking that next step on the interior, my goodness. Teams are going to have problems dealing with this defense more than, and that's without another guy that ain't been here, Donovan Wilson, but that's another discussion for another day. Osa Odighizuwa, I think, has earned his way to the grown folk table once again. With another sack, that's 3 to start the season, a bunch of pressures, tackles for loss, and he's got better in the run game. Like, we haven't really talked about that. Osa Odighizuwa has improved in the run game. There were some people here on this channel that didn't believe in Osa Odighizuwa in that department. It's too small. I think he's proving some people wrong here. Osa Odighizuwa was taking that next step. Hey, Brandon, I might need your advice on some financial things. You know? You can help me out with my credit. Welcome to the Grown Folk Table, Brandon Aubrey. Do we got a kicker? Sure seems like it. Brandon Aubrey started off the year, missed his very first extra point. In a downpour, I get it, whatever. But since then, he's been nails. He went 5 for 5 yesterday, hit a 55-yard bomb, made all his extra points. And I don't think a team has, between these two games, they've returned a kick yet. I don't think they've returned a kick. I don't think they're going to return a kick all year. It was a long time ago where we found out, and we probably knew this just based off who he's bringing in here, but it was essentially confirmed that Bones Fossil is a coordinator who likes his kicker to have a huge leg, right? He wants his kicker to have powerful leg. Greg DeLeg-Zerline, Maher last year, now Brandon Aubrey. Aubrey seems to have finally connected from having a power leg with accuracy. And that is what turns you into a weapon. Now, are we there yet? Probably not. We probably got to see him make a 60-yarder like Maher was doing. But right now, in my opinion, I'm not really looking for Brandon Aubrey to hit 60, 62-yard field goals. I just need you to make the ones that we need you to make. Like yesterday. Perfect example was yesterday. Yesterday, the Cowboys start off in the red zone 2 for 3, get out to a nice little lead, and they don't get risky down there again. And it kind of struck out per se. Now, they did have a rushing touchdown call back to a holding, which whatever. They called a holding on Tyron Smith. But those are the ones you need to make. When we elect to say, look, man, we're not about to force this issue here. We're good to go. Go out there and get us these points. I need you to make those. The 60-yarders are cool, but there's going to be way more 38-yarders, 42-yarders, 45-yarders, and there will be 55 and 60. And he did that for the Cowboys yesterday. So you deserve your seat at the grown folk table today, Brandon Aubrey. And then finally, Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott went into this game against, in my opinion, one of the top passing defenses in the league, one of the top ranked defenses, period. Point blank. Went out there and was efficient. 31 for 38, 255, 2 touchdowns. And he just looked, again, we talked about this offense looking grown. He just looks like he's taking another step, which is in his 8th year. Some people will say he is who he is. I don't believe that because I do believe coaching matters. I believe coaching matters. And you see him have a control of this offense that you might have not seen in years past because he's not out there having to think so damn much. Everybody is where they need to be, and now it's just up to Dak, who is one of the best quarterbacks pre-snap, figuring out where to go with the ball after, as opposed to post-snap, what are you going to do? I don't have to think about what you're going to do anymore. It's 1, 2, 3. If it's not there, get back into my hitch. Over here, boom, drop it down for a quick dump off, drop it down for a slant, or take a deep shot. We're no longer chasing big plays. We're no longer chasing points. We're manufacturing them within the offense. And Dak was a field general out there. He was the point guard out there. 31 for 38 against that defense is nothing to scoff at. Nothing to scoff at. This was a defense that can pass rush. This was a defense that can cover. This is a defense that could tackle, and they did show that. You know, I know the Cowboys put up 30 points, and I know Dak was super efficient, but you saw kind of the prowess of the Jets defense come into play from time to time with their tackling. They figured it out in the red zone and tightened up down there. You still saw how good this defense can be. It's just that this offense was better when it needed to be. And obviously the Cowboys defense is just like that. But this is why when I talk about Mike McCarthy, he's been here before. He's played top-ranked defenses a number of times in his career. He's played top-ranked pass defenses a number of times in his career. And you see these type of outputs before. He knows how to attack all this. He's seen it. It's not like Dak hasn't seen it either. Now he just has somebody that is accompanying his experience and his talents. So Dak Prescott also at the grown folk table in the cookout. So there you have it. CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, Osa, Brandon Aubrey, and Dak are my guys at the grown folk table. Honorable mentions, those who are coming on the walk. And if you don't know about the walk, Cowboys Nation, just ask one of your friends here in the chat. Look to the left, look to your right. What do Sky mean by the walk? Can't quite tell you that right here, but just know. Going for the walk. Let's bring these young bucks over for the walk, man. Deuce Vaughn, Luke Schoonmaker, Jalen Brooks. Come on through for this walk real quick. Deuce Vaughn had 2 explosive plays in this game, or splash plays, whatever you want to call it. One was a reception, one was a run. Both went over 12 or 13 yards in this game, accounted for 2 first downs. You might look at Jalen Tobert's stat sheet and you say, well, Sky, it was only 18 yards. Fair enough. However, I believe there was 2 first down catches there. This was his first real action, I think, getting called up to be a part of the offense. 3 receptions, 4 targets, 18 yards. Nothing to like celebrate about. But look, he went out there and he improved over what he did last year. Let's just be real. All right. It's a good step for what could potentially be more if he is needed. And then I know it was only 1 reception for 1 yard and a touchdown, but Luke Schoonmaker, when you get your first touchdown of your career, and he's done some good things in the blocking department, got to bring him on the walk too. You know, I thought Luke Schoonmaker should have been tight end 2 coming into this thing, and it didn't happen. I still think that's the case. I'm still advocating and pushing for him to kind of get more involved than Peyton Hendershot. Although we ran a bunch of 13 personnel, so you're going to use all 3 of these guys anyway. But Luke Schoonmaker, Deuce Vaughn offensively, and Jalen Tolbert, some young guys I want to bring to the walk. Give them a little talk. Let them know how they can get to the grown folk table. And I'm pretty sure at some point we will see one of those gentlemen at the grown folk table, Cowboys. We'll see it. We'll see it. All right. We, of course, as expected, have a lot of callers on the line. So we're going to lock them up. Gave y'all a good healthy amount to get up in here. And want to wrap to y'all. Now, I know it was a 469 that was in here first. There you go, 469. We had a 469 caller that was in here. Let's hear what they have to say to open up the phone lines. Let's go, 469.
Good morning, Sky. This is Princess. This is your sister from another mother.
Oh, this is Princess. Let me save you here, Princess. Yeah. You starting to call in now. Okay, what's up, Miss Princess?
I tell you, I'm on one today. But first of all, I want to give a shout out to the tight ends. They did a real good job yesterday. I'm very, very, very proud of the tight ends. Also about the field goal kicker, I've been on his ass a lot, so he did a real good job yesterday. My only little nitpick thing is that those field goals, we got to turn those into touchdowns, especially when we're in the red zone. So yeah, so pretty good job on that. The next good thing, I'm starting to do a little something about that Gallup contract because he ain't showed up. Is he wearing a Halloween mask already? What's going on? His brother ain't showed up. I ain't seen him. I don't know what's going on with him. So kind of tell me what's going on with Gallup and also Dorrance Armstrong. Where has he been? I haven't seen him.
Let's take it one at a time. I know y'all like to take it one at a time. So what was the first thing? Red zone, right? Red zone.
Yeah,
definitely. If there was one thing to come out of this game, it's that to me. And I said this before. I said it in the 40-0 victory. When you win like this, when you're dominating, the mark of a great team, a great competitor, is not being satisfied enough. Where can I get better at? And context matters, circumstance matters. You could argue all that. But just to keep it easy peasy, you can go and say, we want to be better than 2 for 6 in the red zone. Let's be better than that. So yeah, I'm with you. I think that's something they can come out and be better at. That's something I have 100% confidence in. They will be. The Cowboys have been a notoriously good red zone team of late with Mike McCarthy as head coach, and Mike has been a great red zone coordinator. Michael Gallup, 1 reception, 3 yards on 2 targets. We had a joke on Vacha's show. How long? How many weeks until we say, okay, kind of over the Michael Gallup? I hate to say experiment, but let's see Jalen Tolbert, right? Yesterday,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was. I think we were joking around like by the San Francisco game. If we don't see anything by the San Francisco game, et cetera, et cetera. Yesterday was an opportunity per se for Michael Gallup to step up, to say, hey, look, I'm here. You don't got to worry about not having Brandon Cooks. Same thing for all these other receivers. Didn't necessarily need any of them because obviously CeeDee Lamb went berserk. But you still want to be able to see something, especially because they elected to give Michael Gallup that contract over Amari Cooper, but that's neither here nor there. A lot of us aren't happy with that, but it is what it is. So what's going on with him? I don't think nothing is going on with him. I just think he's just a cog in this machine. The problem is you're paying him to be more than that. So when he doesn't produce, we're looking at you sideways. Like, hey, dog, we're paying you a healthy, wide receiver 2 contract. Where are you in regards to production? And that's where I think the gripe is at, because if you're not going to produce at that level, or at least at half that level, then we're going to look at you sideways. And, I think it's fair from a production standpoint. So, yeah, Michael Gallup, Cowboys Nation looking at you, bro. And now your third one was who?
Dorrance Armstrong. Where is he at?
He had 2 sacks last game.
Did he?
Yeah.
I must have missed that.
He had 2 sacks in the first game.
I was about to get on his ass.
Huh?
I was about to get on his butt because I hadn't seen him. I was like, where's Dorrance Armstrong at? And I know we are talking about, he was kind of, I don't know if he was in the doghouse or just not being productive or what was going on with him. I just know we hadn't kind of heard his name a lot in comparison to last season. So he had 2 sacks.
He had 2 sacks in week 1. I think what's going to happen with this defense and possibly with the offense, because we have so many different types of weapons, is you're not going to have the same guy, unless your name is Micah Parsons or CeeDee Lamb, probably go off every single game, right? Like you're going to have different, definitely on that pass rush. Boy, it's Micah Parsons, Osa Digizua, Dorrance Armstrong, DeMarcus Lawrence, Sam Williams, Dante Fowler. I feel like each one of those guys are going to have their game or two throughout the season. So he didn't have. I mean, I don't see the tape, but he didn't have the 2-sack performance or the dominant performance per se week 2, but week 1 he showed out, and I'm pretty sure he'll continue to have a solid season. I'm not really worried about Dorrance. Not week 2, no.
Okay, gotcha. And one last thing, can you explain to me, Scott, because I'm a little bit confused, the difference between passer rating versus passer percentage? Is there a difference, or am I talking about the same thing?
Completion percentage is
I think completion percentage or something.
Yeah, completion percentage is the percent of passes that were completed versus with the attempts. Where passer rating, it is like a bajillion things factored into that: yards, attempts, touchdowns, interceptions. Passer rating is an older way of looking at things. There's so many different analytics. Even QBR, I think, accounts more than passer rating does. And even QBR has its quirks too, but yeah, that's the passer rating is passer rating. That counts like 17 different things. Where completion percentage is just the amount of passes you completed per attempt.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Scott. Yeah. And also one more thing too. Does Big Mike, does he script his first plays, or does he just kind of go with the flow? Do you know that?
Oh, he 100% script. I mean, almost all coordinators and coaches script the first 15 for sure.
The first 15. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, my brother.
Yeah.
Good job as always. I'll continue to listen, continue to support, and you have a blessed, awesome day. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Thank you, Ms. Princess. Man, fantastic stuff to open up the phone calls. I'm glad she brought up the first 15. The first 15, I'm big on that. I'm a huge advocate on that, setting up the rest of the day in a way, right? You know, getting this defense on its heels. And the Cowboys did a great job of that opening drive. Actually, the first 2 opening drives, you know, week 1, week 2, that first 15 has been sharp. It's been sharp. And I think it'll remain sharp because, again, Mike McCarthy is not some fool that a lot of people thought he was coming into this. I used to have this saying, I think we got Mike McCarthy up. Because we're leaning on what happened in 2018 as if this is the same him or same team. It's not. It's not. And the West Coast offense, definitely the modern version of it, if you tweak it right, man, you could come out with so many things to put the opposing off defense on its heels to make them think throughout the rest of that game. And that's what happened. Now, here's the beauty. Here's the beauty of Mike. The second possession, I think he started feeling himself a little bit. And we wanted to switch up the tempo. So, boom, we come out. We're bang, 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 bang. We're on the ball, ready, on the ball, ready, on the ball, ready. We go 3 and out. All right. Maybe I was going too fast here. Maybe I was doing too much here. Let me calm it down. Then you see the next possession, the Cowboys put together more than a 3-play type of drive. So it's a guy that's been around the block, man. It's a guy that's been here before. He's not going to pound his head into a brick wall just because. He's not going to do it. He's going to play complementary football, and he's going to play to his team's strengths. What was his team's strength yesterday? Let's get the ball to CeeDee Lamb. Let's let Dak Prescott pick apart this defense in regards to being efficient. It might not be 350 yards, right? But let's say just make the right smart decisions, take profit, take what the defense gives you. We'll get down to scoring position. Let's just score some points. I said yesterday on the pregame show, it takes 17. 17 points. If the Cowboys offense scored 17 points, this game's over. The first three scoring drives, touchdown, field goal, touchdown. Not first 3 drives, first 3 scoring drive, 17. Now they got 18 because they went for 2. But they got 18 points. That was it. I know it was 18-10 and people, oh man, it's a wrap. We were moving the ball with ease. They couldn't do nothing on the other side. They got a little fluky touchdown. I'll give it to them. I'll clap it up. They got a little touchdown on it. It happens. Players F up. But that was a wrap. And I think you saw them operate like that. Like, hey, man, let's just get these points. But the beautiful thing when you come out of a 30-10 stomping is that you can say, all right, where can I be better? Not just individually, but collectively as coaches and as players, where can I be better? And there's going to be some teach tape out there for sure. All right, I'm just going to start from the bottom here and work my way up. Let's get Marcus on the horn. What's good, man?
Yo, what's good, Scott? What's good? Victory Monday, baby. Victory Monday.
Let me tell you down. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I love it, man. How you doing this morning?
I'm good, man. Just trying to tell you, you're clipping on me, brother. You're clipping. There we go. All right, go ahead.
Oh, you got me. I'm sorry. It might be me, man.
It's the excitement. I get it. I get it,
it's
dog.
The excitement. Yeah, man. Hey, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I'm gonna pat myself on the back. The game wasn't like I thought it was gonna go. But the thing I think we all need to, the funny thing is, one thing we can nitpick about the offense should have done this, particularly in the red zone, and those are fair, assessments, criticisms, critiques, whatever.
Sure.
But I go back to something that Mike McCarthy and Brian Schottenheimer and Dak Prescott, all 3 of those guys have said repeatedly early on in the season that what they're doing offensively is they're building. And they're building to what they're going to be as an offense. we can't overlook the fact, and people are going to do it. They're going to say everything that the Jets aren't that good or greater defense, and they're going to downplay what the Cowboys did.
You tell them to go on somewhere. That is a top defense in the league. Yeah.
I agree. Of course it is. That defense at all three levels is stout.
It's good.
And as I said, the Cowboys weren't going to walk over them. All right, and the game went exactly the way I envisioned it going. The Cowboys were going to have to wear the defense down, and I felt like that because I had to remind myself who was the offensive coordinator over there for the Jets, and that's Nathaniel Hackett. He's been chasing around Aaron Rodgers the last couple of years, so he started to get exposed to one of these guys that kind of wants to do things a certain way. He wasn't going to do what he needed to do, which was run the football some. And all the Cowboys needed to do was get ahead of the Jets. If they played good football offensively, the game was going to be over. Even if they didn't score a lot of points, I felt like if the Cowboys kept the offense on the field, and they did that for the majority of the first half, if they played more offensive football than the Jets did, they were going to win the game because eventually they're just going to get tired. You're going to start to see big plays.
And that's what they did. The Cowboys controlled the ball for 42 minutes, and the Jets only had it for like 17 or something like that. So, there's a clear understanding of what this team wants to do within the game, and if you allow yourself to see it, you can see it. It's not hard to understand what we're doing here, especially with this defense, especially knowing your opponent.
Yeah, exactly. You got to respect your opponent. That's part of respecting your opponent is again going right down the field. I don't care if that's scripted or not, and it was. Going right down the field against that Jets defense, that's a top-tier defense. I don't care what nobody says. They walked that dog down the field, and they put that in the end zone right out of the gate. And that told me two things. They're not as good offensively as they're going to be. And two, if they get a lead, we're never going to see another Jacksonville game like last year.
No.
We're never going to see a Green Bay game. We're not going to see it again. Because they have got the chops on offense. If they get a lead on you with that defense, the defense is going to get all the glory and shine, and they should because they've been consistent for 3 years. And the offense is still, in a lot of ways, an unknown. But if we get a lead because we're going to be able to score, you moving the football like that, they're going to beat a lot of people's heads in, San Francisco included. So I'm just enjoying it right now. It's one game at a time.
One game at a time.
And anything, whatever. One game at a time. But, hey, look, the Cowboys are being coached for the first time since, I don't want to say when. But they have a head coach over there. They've had a defensive coordinator now. They got a head coach now. Yeah. And in closing, they're just going to beat a lot of people's heads in. So just get used to it. The Cowboys, remember, they're building. Offensively, they're building. So that's all I got, Scott. Thanks a lot, man.
Very good point. Appreciate you, Marcus. Yeah, this is game 2, and let's be real. If we really want to talk about it, this is really game 1. This is game 1 of the Cowboys' offense being able to get in the flow of things. Last week they couldn't do much in regards to running the offense how they want to. Torrential downpour going on. You're already up 23-0 after the first quarter, whatever it was. And admittedly, from Mike McCarthy, we're not running our whole playbook out there, right? So now we're working within the game plan that we have now. We're adapting to our situation. Where this was the first game to be able to go, and not the greatest first game to go up, great, or not the worst defense to go up against. It's a tough defense. It's a tough defense to go up against and try to get your offense in the flow. And they did. They did. So am I concerned about, after starting 2 for 3 in the red zone, essentially going 0 for 3 after that? No. You're going to need more than that for me to get concerned in the red zone, especially when historically Mike McCarthy is one of the best. But I get where coming out of games like this, we're looking for something. But I thought there was a level of, again, Twitter is Twitter. It's not real, but whatever. There was a level of kind of a little bit of outrage or concern or anger or this. And I'm just like, what are we watching? Where you go up against a top 5 defense like this, top 3, I think it's one of the top 3 defensive league like this. You move the ball very well. You score 30 points. You score multiple touchdowns. You do something to that defense that hadn't been done really. They allowed one 30-point game last year. 1. They haven't allowed a opening drive touchdown in 15 games. This is a good defense. It was one of the top 5 red zone defenses in the league. They tightened up. You probably tightened up too. Funny thing is, you score on the Tony Pollard thing. We're probably not having this conversation that much. You hit, who was it? Jake Ferguson. Probably not having this conversation. There was also CeeDee Lamb wide open. I don't think they were as bad as everybody is making it out to be. And I'm just sitting here astonished, like, wow. I mean, okay, you know, if we're going to come away from this game and we're going to be overly concerned about that, I think that's a great thing. I think that's a great thing because when you really zero in on it, it really ain't that serious, in my opinion. But I digress. Drummer Cam, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Sky? How about them Cowboys?
Yes, sir.
Man, real quick. So coming out in the opening drive, I'm electing to take the ball. I'm going to go down. I'm going to score a touchdown. And then have the understanding that you're going to get the ball at second half. I'm going to go for 2 points. So when you're down by 2 scores, even if you get the field goal and you score the touchdown, you're still going to be 1 point behind my offense. Man, this is a man who understands football in the grand scheme of things. Mm-hmm. You're up by 2, then 3, then 4 scores. You're running the ball down the end zone. You're playing conservative. You're making sure the momentum does not swing. You don't give that defense a chance to actually give their offense some hope. Defense makes points matter. Man, I'm not concerned about this end zone bullshit. Like that. Shut up. It was conservative play calling on purpose because we were winning the time of possession game, and Kellen Moore would never. He would never. We'd probably be in a situation just like we were last year against Green Bay or the Jaguars game where we're fighting for life. Trust me, if we needed that touchdown, we would have got a touchdown, but we were playing conservative. But we didn't need it. Chew up the clock. Love it. Love Mike McCarthy. He deserves a spot at the grown folk table, in my opinion, if he doesn't already have one. He
had the grill,
unbelievable.
Bro. He had the grill.
Nice. I missed it, but I missed that section because I had to doing some things for the lights in our van. But, dude, I love it. That's all I got to say, man.
Yeah.
Keep doing you. You guys are awesome. I'll keep listening and
thanks,
definitely
Jim.
Checking out the rest of the weekend. Looking forward to it.
Appreciate it, Jim Cam. Yeah, for the second consecutive week, man, I just love the way this offense flows and it looks. I'm just so excited to break down the film again. And I think you can be even more excited because of the defense you were playing. This was kind of a litmus test going into, and we'll get there. I know we cannot skip over multiple games because, look, Bill's a different animal, so we'll get to Bill at some point. But it's really in our conference, that team in San Francisco that we need to be able to do this against, right? We need to be able to be efficient against and protect the ball against. So, yeah, I think just another encouraging start. And really, again, let's add context, right? Context matters. I've kind of not went away, but I haven't said it as much because for some odd reason, people don't care about context. This is the first real game that the Cowboys were able to try to put something together offensively that didn't involve a bunch of rain, right? You really couldn't do anything there. Not only the first real game to do it, the first real game without your starting left guard, a third string left guard that was in there for the second half, without your number 2 wide receiver, who in a game like this I thought would have been a bit more important because you move him around, you do more move around things with him. What I mean by that is the reason why CeeDee Lamb was able to do CeeDee Lamb things is because they got him the ball in unique ways. Let's just be honest. You can't get Michael Gallup the ball in any unique way. He's gonna run a normal route tree. Jalen Tolbert, we haven't seen him used in that way just quite yet. He's kind of your standard, Z wide receiver who's going to play. And we talked about Jalen Tolbert, Turpin could be, guys that could be important here. They didn't need to be because we were able to get CeeDee Lamb involved heavily in unique ways. I think Brandon Cooks would have been that guy too. I think you'd have been able to do some motion things with Cooks, stretch the defense with Cooks, give him the ball quickly on screens, and let him work, through the traffic. You would have been able to do a lot of those things you saw with Lamb with Cooks. He wasn't available, right? So, look, man, encouraging start. Won't get me out here looking at this offense sideways in no way, shape, or form, man. Let's keep it moving. We got James. What's good, James?
Hey, what's going on, Will?
What's up with you?
Hey, not much, my friend, but I'll tell you this much. Remember last week, didn't I say something about the score might be 28 to 10 or 28 to 14? Hey, I was pretty close.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'll tell you what, I'm just going to – yeah, I think that's what I said. But either way, though, it was a dominating win. Mike McCarthy did something I haven't seen, being a Cowboy fan since 1980 in a long time. As Vach said yesterday, it was, I'll take the ground and pound, run the ball, grind some clock, get some points. I mean, that's the way it goes. And I give definitely Mike McCarthy some credit. I didn't think I'd say that, but I'm going to do that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop three pieces of facts on you that I saw yesterday. And everybody want to say the Niners got a good defense. So do we. Since last year, we have scored 130 points off our defensive turnovers from last year to date. And that came across the screen. Here's another one I've seen too. Where the only two other teams have scored 70 points and allowed 10 points or fewer in their first two games of the season since 1970, since they kept the stat. Those were the 70 Detroit Lions and the 2019 New England Patriots. Niners ain't on that list. We are.
We got the best defense.
Exactly. And then one more I seen this morning. This one's a good one too. Fewest points allowed with 10 sacks and 5 interceptions through 2 games since 1963. The Pittsburgh Steelers did it in 79. They had, 20 points or fewer. In 1967, the Rams had 16 points or fewer. And this year, I'd be damned, man, 10 points or fewer for the Dallas Cowboys. People need to stop and realize, man, this defensive unit ain't a fluke. Dan Quinn's got them playing out their mind.
If anybody thinks that they're not, like that,
they're crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. This is the best defense in the league to me. Yeah. Because as I'm going to keep saying it all year until proven otherwise, it's the best defense in the league to me because the talent is matching the scheme, which matches the coaching. I think from top to bottom, there may be only, again, 2 other squads where it's like that. And the X factor is depth. Bro, we're doing this.
That's what I was just getting ready to say, too.
Yep.
The depth of this defense, guys, like this, because you know how you look at a team that you're going to play. Oh, we're playing the Niners this week. So you can develop some sort of a game plan and a scheme on offense of who you need to stop and how you need to move. But with the Cowboys, you can't do that because here's the reason. You have too many dogs. You have too many people that can beat you, like Micah Parsons. You can try to game plan Micah Parsons, but you can't because he's all over the feet. He's all over the line. And then if he don't beat you, somebody else is going to beat you. The D-Laws, the Osadigizua and all that. You can't just game plan for Micah Parsons
100%.
Because we got somebody else step right up in there to take you out.
100%. Hey, James, I appreciate the call, and I want to kind of talk about that for,
yes,
for
sir.
one more second.
All right, appreciate you, Will.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hey, that play where Micah was shot out of a cannon, the first sack, I'm going to keep coming back to that sack because it shows exactly what he's saying. There's so many different people you have to deal with. It's just a fantastic look, just a madman, and this is a true mad scientist and Dan Quinn drawing that look up where it was not necessarily end game. This was just kind of our rush package, right? Where we have Osa Digizua, I think Dorrance, similar kind of end game. Dorrance, Micah, and D-Law, and then you've got J-Ron Curson, you've got I think it was LVE mugging at the line of scrimmage, right? Sugaring the A-B gaps and giving that offense line something to think about. At the snap, boom. They both fire back, drop into the hot zones. I believe it was Dorrance Armstrong, or I'm sorry, D-Law takes the outside shoulder, right? He fires upfield. And what that does to the right guard is worried about Curse. He's worried about LVE. Those guys drop back. So now the right guard's looking for work. Well, when you're looking for work, he wasn't thinking about the loop from Micah Parsons. So he goes and says, hey, Mekhi Becton on D-Law one-on-one. I need to go help. So D-Law kind of plays that muddle rush where he gets upfield and he says, I'm containing. And that pulls the right guard over and creates this Moses-like lane for Micah Parsons to just be fired out of a cannon and just takes down Zach Wilson. And again, that probably doesn't happen if you have just some Joe Schmo on the right side there, you can say, hey, Mekhi Becton got this. Let me look for some work over here. No, you have to open up that lane because you're worried about D-Law on the other side. So just too many dudes to throw at you. And then we got the dude of all dudes, the king of kings, Micah Parsons, the best goddamn defensive player in the National Football League. Let me get my good brother Set It Off, Chris, back on the horn. This has been a busy man with his success of his young buck, man. I want to salute you as a parent, bro.
It's actually, we don't like these 304s.
Oh, this ain't Set It Off, Chris?
No.
My bad, bro. I still want to salute you. I don't know if you got kids, but salute to you so we don't like them 304.
Not that I
My
know.
bad, Chris.
No, you're good.
What's up, bro?
You're good. How you doing, bro? Long time no talk.
Yeah. How you feeling?
Hey, man, I just got a life-changing raise at work this past weekend. The Cowboys are killing it right now. I got off. I can't complain about anything, man.
Oh, man, no complaints then. No complaints. What's on your mind?
One thing that I love from this team is that this might be the most talented roster in football from top to bottom, and they are coached by maybe the most experienced coaching staff in football, and that's something that the Cowboys haven't had in forever. And like when you see the way they played this game, grown-ups call this game.
He ain't set nothing
on
up. It ain't you. Go ahead.
No, I got you. On offense, like, you watch the tape of the Jets. If, like, the fans that are complaining about the game plan did not watch tape on the Jets, the way to beat this team was exactly how the Cowboys played. Take what the defense gives you, do it to death, play good, play mistake-free football, and rely on your defense. Like, that's how you were going to beat them, and that's how they beat them. And they put an ass-whooping on them. And that's without Brandon Cooks and Tyler Smith.
Right. And like we said, when we, during the season, during the prep, I thought Brandon Cooks would have been, a big deal to have in this game. Didn't need him necessarily. They were able to game plan around that. But yeah, he'll be back. This isn't a multi-week injury. I love that we had the confidence to be able to sit him and still go out there and put up 30 points on one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah, definitely. Great performance, no doubt. Hey, I know you got a lot of calls, bro. I'll talk to you later.
Salute. Appreciate you. Chris, not Set It Off. We don't wipe them 304s. Hey, who said that? Yo, you wild, man. Somebody said he ain't setting nothing. Nah, I'm just Chris. I got you, bro. Let's keep it moving, man. Let's get BJ. Shouts out to my guy, BJ. Let me hold $1 from UPS. What up?
What's going on, Scott? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm good. 2-0. We crushing these opponents, and these morning shows are great when you can come in and you're doing that. What's up with you?
Man, not much. Just out here delivering these packages, man. One package at a time.
One package at a time, one game at a time. What's up?
Look, I called in your show 2 times, man, and I haven't brought up my one player. The person I had brought up was Micah Parsons, and I've been saying this the last 2 calls, man. He's going to be the reason why we're going to go 20 games this year. I really believe that. Just seeing that against that defense, I don't think Kellen would have – I know Kellen wouldn't have called a game like that. It was the perfect game to call against that defense, man. So I'm just calling to give Mike some more flowers. And one more person I want to give some flowers to, man, Trayvon Diggs. I don't know if people realize, I believe Stephon Gilmore has been the most target player on our defense. And I don't think that has been the case on the team he's been on since he's been in the league. They have really been targeting this guy to stay away from Trey. And I just really want people to know that Trey's really one of them dogs, too.
Yeah.
Michael might be the best guy on this defense, but I believe Trey's number 2. The way he can recognize these route patterns, just take away QB reads. I don't see DBs doing it like that.
Yeah, good point, man. Good point. They definitely don't want to target him too much. Maybe more experienced corners might try to hit him with a double move or something like that. They might try to scheme it up, but again, I say do so at your own risk because this is one of the smartest cornerbacks in the league, and you just got to try to catch him. That's just what is going to happen. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And, man, that's all I wanted, man. Look, give you more flowers. Great show. Great post-game show last night. And I love everything you guys do, man. Keep up the great work, man.
Appreciate you, BJ. That's BJ from UPS. What can Brown do for you? We got 1K. Shouts out to you, man. We got almost a stack up in here. Salute to the Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad!
If you're new here and you like what you see on Victory Monday, hit that like button. Subscribe. Tell your Cowboy friends and family this is the best place to come to in the mornings for Cowboys recaps. Or just period. Really, Cowboys, anything in the morning to get your Cowboy day started. It's right here. Skywalker Show, A to Z Sports Live. Let's keep it moving. D-Sean, what's good, man?
Hey, what up, Scott? So pretty much, I loved everything. And one thing is I know you probably didn't watch the freaking Chargers game, but in overtime, guess what they did? They threw the ball 3 times consecutively, punt the ball to Tennessee. Tennessee went down there and scored a touchdown game. And everybody's looking like, what the hell happened? Kellen Moore happened. You did a bunch of scoring, a bunch of offensive playing, but you didn't manage the game, and now they're 0-2.
Look, D-Sean, look, man, he ain't my problem no more. You know, it's like you know when you round away and you had a little shorty and your man's is coming to you complaining. Hey, man, I told you she was crazy. You know what I'm saying? And you can go and do your thing, but I advise to not settle down. And look, it looked good, all the fancy numbers, but how many times do we talk about situational football with that man? I don't know. I didn't go watch it. Maybe I'll go take a look. Maybe that's something I'll keep track of. I don't know. All I care about is that how we look. And if anybody is watching the way the Cowboys are operating this season in the first 2 games offensively, and they don't see a positive difference, you're blind or you're hating, or you're one of those ones that are waiting for the other shoe to drop so you can say, see. When in reality, man, this is a completely different looking offense, and it's only elevating these players around them.
Agree. So my thing is, I love how we stopped the defense. We stopped their running game, and so we made them get out of their uncomfortable zone, which they wanted to do. They wanted to run the ball on us. They wanted to be able to stop our rushing from coming up. And what the difference is, you can't be able to just run the ball on us anytime you want to, because now we're more disciplined and we have more of a leadership. It's impressive that Micah came through the gap. He stood up for seeing Dalvin because he stopped, and then he realized that, the ball, he left the ball out. So he just ripped the ball away, and then, of course, he got up to try to score. But that's impressive, to be able to recognize what's going on and then just rip the ball away from that moment and still make a play. That's different.
Yeah.
And then I guess my final thing.
Now go ahead and close.
Oh yeah, my final thing was Osa. Osa, we've been waiting. You had this conversation about Osa. I always knew Osa was gonna be like that little game breaker, because if he can make plays in the middle, it keeps quarterbacks from just being able to step up and just being able to make a throw or get off in a run. And so to me, the defense is different. Everything else is different. Shout out to you, Sky. Hey, go like, go subscribe. Shout out to Skywalker here.
Appreciate you, D-Sean. Cowboys run defense. So Breece Hall was pissed. Breece Hall was like, man, we lost because I only got the ball 4 times. 4 carries for Breece Hall, 9 yards. Dalvin Cook, 4 carries, 7 yards. Last week he had, talking about Breece Hall, 10 carries, $127. It was about wrapping up. It was about tackling, and they did that. Now you could argue, well, Sky, they didn't, run the ball a whole lot. You're right. And this is the pressure that this total team puts on you. And what I mean is, this defense literally puts pressure on you. This defense quite literally is going to pressure the quarterback. They're going to pressure the line of scrimmage. They're going to pressure your offensive coordinator on where the hell 11's lined up and how are they going to, use their coverage on the back end and the 2 stout guys in the middle. Well, they play fantastic against the run in this game. Now, you could argue they should have ran it 25, 30, 40 times. Probably. Sure. And we'll get to a point where that happens. We're probably going to see it against I don't know if Arizona's going to do it, but I know for sure the Niners will try to run a whole lot. Here's what and I'm not trying to jump to the Niners, but the Cowboys held the Niners rush offense down. They shut that down, in my opinion, in the playoffs, and the Cowboys defense is better, but neither here nor there. That'll be the big test in regards to running. The Patriots will probably try to run on you a lot. That'll be another big test. But, hey, man, all they can do is go out there and play. The Giants stopped running because they got down a lot. The Jets stopped running, and this is the other part of the pressure because the Cowboys offense puts pressure on your offense. So now you got the defense shutting you down, making you punt the ball, making you go 3 and out, taking the ball away, shutting down your run game. And you also got the offense shutting down your run game because we're getting points. Some scary complimentary football, man. Some scary complimentary football. Rick, what's good, Rick?
Yeah, what's going on, Scott? What's going on, Cowboy Nation? How everybody doing on Victory Monday?
Fantastic.
That's what's up, man. My thing is too, man. The kicker is supposed to do his job, man. He did. I see what you mean. I'm happy we got a nice kicker. He been kicking under pressure a little bit. You know what I mean? Been kicking real good, especially in that monsoon last week, Sunday night. Much respect. But like my man was saying, that do the UPS truck thing. Trayvon Diggs deserves to be at that table. It's 2 weeks he ain't been at the table, and he's been an impact player for me, as far as I look at it. As far as Trayvon from last year and this year, he's getting started early. And you know, I know he's gonna be at the table one day.
He'll have his
again.
He at the cookout. He just ain't at the table. That's all. He said, "I'm gonna let these young bulls have it." I've been there.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, my thing is with the offense and Dak. It's only 3 passes I can say well, it's really 2, but a third one kind of concerned me a little bit. And the two passes was that I wanted him to have back is the one when he tried to shoot in the damn near triple coverage to Gallup, and the one that he almost threw to Gardner when he double clutched it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Those are basically 2 passes I would like to have back with Dak. Even though I know this is almost like a preseason game, even though it's regular season games for him. And the one that scared me the most is the one. It was a good pass, but I feel like, man, I am so happy that this dude landed the right way. Is that CD Lamb pass when the dude went up under him, when he high pointed the ball and Adams went up under him and got hurt.
Sure.
Because I'm not gonna lie, that scared the hell out of me, man. But I know that's what comes with it. You know what I mean? It was a dot. It was a dot. I give you that. It was a dot. But I'm like, yo, bro, don't kill him, man. Don't get him killed. That was my only. I just held my breath on that one. But
I mean, getting
that's
him
a part
killed,
of the game. I get it.
Getting him killed would have been leading him. He would have got murdered. You know, if you throw it up that way, you get a chance to kind of protect yourself. I think he might have went a little bit higher than he might have wanted. But trust and believe me, if he puts that out in front, that safety is taking CD's head off.
Yeah, I'm just saying it just looked weird. I ain't gonna say it looked weird. It just scared the shit out of me, man. Because I'm happy he landed the way that he landed.
Sure. What's your point, though?
My point is like this, man. Like Queen said earlier, the offense. When we get down in this red zone, I would like to see.
I meant with Dak. I didn't know if there was a.
Far as with Dak?
Yeah.
Far as with Dak, man, I know that he's shaking off the rust. He's shaking off the rust or whatever. So I know that
31 for 38.
A little bit.
Okay.
No, I'm saying he completed. He did his thing yesterday as far as completions. I give him that.
He
did his thing.
He wasn't perfect. You're right.
He did his thing. My thing is, Dak Prescott. He looks more comfortable. That's what I'm loving about Dak. Mm-hmm. He looks so most comfortable. He look comfortable. He don't look all like jittery like he used to look with Kellen Moore and them calling plays with Mike McCarthy for some reason. This dude is looking calmer. The game looks slower to him. And I'm loving that. I am loving that. Don't get me wrong. But the only other concern I had, and Dak did his thing, but the other concern I have is the red zone. I would like to see number 40 get the ball a little bit, see what he can do as far as being that bigger guy down there, to see if he probably can push the pile in the end zone. That's basically my only concern, man. As far as
concern, or are you just saying
that,
something to talk about coming out? Because I think we got to choose our words carefully. Are y'all really concerned about the red zone offense, or are we just kind of overreacting because this is just what we're talking about in week 2? Week 1, you go 3 for 4 in the red zone. You start off week 2, 2 for 3. You could have scored another one. They called it back. Tony Pollard scored on the red zone. So are you like really concerned, or are you just saying, hey man, from this game we can be better here?
We can do better.
Yeah, because I'm not concerned. I'm just keep. If you're concerned, you're concerned. That's fair. But I'm just not concerned about the red zone offense. Not yet. Just not yet. I need multiple games of 2 for 6 to be concerned.
Okay, and plus, I can't be all the way concerned because our starting left tackle, guard is not back.
Yeah, context matters.
Either,
yeah.
So
yeah.
So, but I have one more thing, and I'm up out of here. Now, what's the deal with Martin?
Rolled up his ankle. Jay Slater said though he's good to go. He just there was no need to put him back out there, so they just were precautious with it. But sounds like he's fine.
Yeah, I held my breath on that one too, bro. But other than that, Sky, man, great. It was a great win the last couple of weeks. Great wins. I even had a San Francisco dude that me and this dude always go back and forth. He even said, yeah, man, y'all looking a little bit scary over there now. Like, now, if he's saying that and he hate the Cowboys, we doing something good. But that's all I had to say, Sky, and I'm up out of here, y'all. Victory Monday. Let's go.
All right, man, appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, man, I could go down every quarterback, even in amazing performances, and be like, hey, man, these 2 passes here or there. I just don't. That's why we take the whole look, right, and we provide the context to it. This was just a unbelievably efficient game. That was one of my things too. We're talking to Jesse Holly. My Cowboys win if Dak in the passing game is efficient. That's kind of how I figured that we're going to throw the ball at a healthy amount. I didn't think it'd be 38 times, but again, probably at least 10 of those were kind of long handoffs. So if they remained efficient in that and didn't turn the ball over, to be fine, and they were. Now, the double clutch one, I bet you he's going to go back and look at that, Reek, and be like, hey, can't do that. Especially in a route like that. I can't double clutch it and go there. That was one of those things where he glitched. Didn't bite you in the butt, and again, that's great, right? But collectively, I just don't really have much to get at from the passing game. We'll see what happens. I don't see too many teams playing you that way. You're just not going to run into too many teams that are going to be able to play you that way and be able to do it well, right? In regards to playing that wide 9 technique and allowing those linebackers to fly downhill in those defensive line, which again, it's not an easy defense to go up against, man. It just wasn't. And we might have scored 30 and look at that. We scored 30 on the Jets defense. But when you really narrow it down, man, it's a tough matchup. That was a tough matchup. There was some throws where there was pressure in the face. There were some runs where there's just nowhere to go. You know, there was a lot of runs with nowhere to go. There were 7 tackles for loss for the Jets defense. And probably all 7, again, we'll look at the tape, they just pretty much owned the line of scrimmage. There was nothing you could really do. You're getting tackled before you even get a chance to hit the line of scrimmage. And that's kudos to them. But also kudos to Mike McCarthy for saying, I don't care. You know, our offense, we do this with a purpose. We're going to continue to run the ball. 44 carries now. You can argue maybe, 2 of those was kneel downs. But 40-ish carries in this game, 38 passes. You held the ball for 42 minutes. Thought it was a fantastic game plan. And I thought it was a fantastic, adapting to the game within the game. My writing brother, good morning, good sir.
Oh, good morning. And God bless you and your family and the show, like always, and your boy Vash. I just got a couple of things real quick what I wanted to say.
Sure.
Remember the other day when I told you that Dak wasn't going to be fazed by that defense because he goes against the best
right
defense?
Now. No disrespect to when y'all say stuff like that. I don't remember. I talk to so many people, so when y'all say remember when I don't. I don't. But if you said that, Mr. Ronnie, excellent call. But I don't remember, no.
Okay, but I did say that though. But okay, but anyway, also too, I wanted to say that Micah McCarthy called a beautiful game. He controlled the game clock. We actually ran 80 plays. People don't realize. We actually ran 80 plays. We held the ball for 40 minutes. And it looked like, you remember when the Cowboys, when Jimmy Johnson had them, we just, we ran down the field. We kept the clock running and let the defense do what they had to do. He's doing great. People want us to score all the time. It's not about 50 and 60 points. As long as you win and you win solid and you win clean, because we won clean. Really, we didn't have too many penalties. We looked really good yesterday. I mean, really, really good. I was proud with them.
Stop saying it. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, but that's all I got for today. God bless you and your boy Vash and his family and your family, and keep up the good work.
Appreciate you, man. Mr. Ronnie. No Special K. I'm not playing along because that's now back to back. Remember when I don't talk to way too many people to remember that. And that's not against y'all. It's just normal. You know what I'm saying? But you said it, man. Los, what's up, Los?
Yo, good morning, Sky. Can you hear me?
Indeed, brother.
Hey, great victory Monday. Just 3 quick pointers, and I'll make it quick because I know you got hella calls, and I know you're trying to get out of here.
1, 2, 3. You got 3 left.
First point is Mike is just him, bro. Like, you have you seen that meme where that woman in that airline is like, that person right there is not real? Man, I sent that meme to my homeboys, and they were laughing because, man, Mike is just different. He's just an animal. He's just a football player, Sky. Like, you can tell football players, he's a football player. I know I'm not a available football player, but damn, if I was in a football field, I'll follow him anywhere, tackle anywhere. Second point is, everyone's talking about the red zone and efficiency, but I don't think it's a huge concern. Now, I do think the efficiency could be better. Like, for example, Sky, how far are we? We were like 2 out of 6, correct?
Yeah, you started 2 for 3, and then you went 0 for 3 the remainder of the game.
Correct. So, I think it can improve, right? And that's saying that it could be both things. That could be the Jets D had some fight and they didn't want that scoreboard to be bigger than what it was. Or it could be just that we missed some opportunities in which we did. And I say it's both. So better efficiency can go a long way to games. But as long as we're like half of it, 3 out of 6, hell, 4 out of 6 will be perfect. But as long as we're doing better efficiency in the red zone, I don't think it should be a huge concern for how other people should, think of it.
Not after one game. Not after really one half, if we're being honest. But yeah.
Correct. And then last but not least, Sky, is I've been saying this to you for years, man, and you agree with me, and we harp on it. Coaching effing matters, man. And we've been talking this for years, Sky, and something I harp on is I hated that Carrot Top Jason Garrett, and I hated that Pizza Boy Kellen Moore, because that problem has never been that we never had talent. I'll say the problem is always putting the formula together to get to that next level, to where we want to be. And I say we are blessed in some of the players that have failed us. Dak, Diggs, Micah. I could keep going on and on. I'm just glad we're finally putting playmakers and playmaking opportunity to win games. Because damn well, I know. I'll see example. But look how we target CD. Like, CD is our number 1 receiver, and we made him that yesterday. If it was Kellen Moore or Jason Garrett, we would probably, let's give it Ferguson, let's give it Gallup here and there. No, we're going to give it to the number 1, and you just got to love that guy. We're about winning now, and that's all I got to say, man. Peace.
We about winning. Mike McCarthy's one of his first speeches in the 2020 pandemic season was, we're about winning. Now, he wasn't able to implement what he wanted to implement, But can you just imagine, again, we're early in the season, 2 games in. Can you just imagine if this was year, what are we in, 4? Year 4 of the Mike McCarthy offense and not game 2? Hey, it is what it is, man. Nacho, what's up, Nacho?
My man, Will, situational football, right? We talk about situational football. To me, all last season, what was key for us in that playoff game was situational football. We are smarter. We're playing. I mean, I think it was almost. I mean, sure, I get it. All the naysayers about we left a lot of points on the board, this and that, but we're not seeing the big picture. The big picture is this offense is a different offense. It's only been 2 weeks, but it's situational football, smart, not doing more than what we have to do, playing within the game plan, playing within your defense and special teams. What I saw was a very efficient, for the most part, offense. How we move the ball, how we control the clock. If it's not there, don't force it. Take what the defense is giving you. And to your point, and to many colleges' points, this was a lot of people thought this was their first little test coming up. This is a top 5 defense, very similar to maybe a Niner defense as we look ahead type of thing. Well, we passed the test. I think moving forward, I think this team is just building confidence. And this offense and West Coast offense is only going to get better. And it's only going to get more efficient. The game is slowing down for Dak Prescott. And we're coming. Now, in the red zone, let me ask you this. In the red zone, when we were there and we were trying to put the ball in, do you feel that we missed a Zeke-like type of power running game inside, yes or no?
I have to go back and watch the tape. Cowboys ran 2. I can't tell if we still good or not. Let me see. Let's just start up a new stream. Is this the same stream? Oh boy, man! I got some. Oh my, yo.